Well, hello there.
Greetings.
Welcome to Spooktober on the Middle Country Public Library podcast. If I had to speak that way for the entire time, I think I would lose it.
I think it would be so fun, though. Can we just both talk like that the whole time?
People are hitting stop. How's everyone doing? I'm Sal DiVincenzo here with my fabulous colleague, Jim Ward.
How are you doing?
And Jim, welcome.
Thank you.
Back to the podcast because we are starting off our month-long series that we do every October here on the podcast. If you are new to the podcast, then you're going to want to hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, because coming up in the next 5 episodes, we're going to have some really cool things that we're going to be doing here on the podcast regarding spooky things. The fall.
Oh.
The fall is kicking, the harvest.
That's
right.
right.
High season time of the harvest.
Yep.
Halloween, obviously.
Of course.
The gateway drug to the holidays, as I like to say. So we're going to be talking all about that this month. So again, hit the subscribe button, and if you like what you see and hear on this week's episode, hit the like button.
Yep.
Yeah. So to kick off this year's Spooktober, Jimmy is here.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about spooky places on Long Island.
Potentially
haunted.
Potentially haunted. These
Haunted
are
places.
reports from people who work at places, live there, visited.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's a little spooky. It's a little creepy.
A little creepy, but rated PG. So
Nothing that the kids can't watch.
Nothing that the kids can't watch today. All right. So let's kick it off, Jim.
All right.
What's our first haunted / spooky Long Island place?
So we have Camp Hero in Montauk. So in the 1650s, the Montaukett, with 2 T's, I guess that's how they spelled
there
it.
You go, yeah.
Indians were ambushed by a warring tribe near the Montauk Plaza, the same spot where Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders were quarantined after the Spanish-American War.
That I did not know.
Isn't that something? So that you just have a few things there that are
no idea.
Different energies going on at the same time.
Wow.
The Native American spirits supposedly still wander here, while soldiers snatched away by yellow fever still seek respite.
Oh boy.
And at Camp Hero, Montauk, rumor has it that not only is the former Air Force Base, which now serves as Camp Hero State Park, and also apparently the inspiration behind Stranger Things, which I've never watched, but I know people love.
You see that? Inspiration, Long Island.
Yeah,
there
always.
You go.
So not only is that haunted, but the entire town of Montauk is filled with hot spots of spooky happenings and phenomena. And it's said that Camp Hero is haunted by non-human spirits, creatures, and the unsettling history of all that took place there.
Holy macaroni.
Just a little background on Camp Hero.
Yeah.
It was constructed in 1942 as a secretive military base due to fears that it might be vulnerable to German U-boats.
Wow.
The camp was designed to resemble an innocuous New England fishing town from the outside. And during the 50s, it was a base. The base was outfitted to protect against potential Soviet missiles, but its radar systems were deemed outdated by 1981.
Okay.
At which point it was shut down. The land was eventually donated to the New York Department of State Parks and opened to the public. It might all seem ordinary on the surface.
Yes.
But according to the local legend, the camp was also the site of a military experiment dubbed the Montauk Project.
Okay, so tell me, is this the one with the transporting?
Well, we're going to... So,
are they transporting aliens from other planets to Montauk?
Well, apparently, 2 boys were allegedly kidnapped and experimented upon in the camp in an effort to interact with another dimension.
Another dimension.
It is said that one of the boys succeeded in pulling forth a creature named Junior.
Oh, my goodness.
From the 4th dimension.
From the 4th dimension.
The 4th dimension.
Okay.
And the creature was captured and contained underground where it still remains.
Contained underground where it still remains.
Still remains.
Except the 3rd or 4th week of July, it comes out and goes to the beach.
Hey, even it needs to have some
Exactly.
rest and relaxation.
Exactly, yes. That's why the traffic's so bad getting out there.
So that is Camp Hero at Montauk.
Wow. Very spooky stuff. That 4th dimension thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I had a coworker once in a former life, a former job that I did, who was into that kind of stuff, right? And drove out there. Now, this is probably the mid to late 90s.
Out to Montauk?
Out to Montauk,
Oh, wow.
out to Camp Hero. And I guess at that time, it wasn't quite open to the public, because now it's like a park, right?
Yeah, state park.
And she went out there with her husband, drove to one of the gates there, and she said literally within like 30 seconds of stopping and getting out of the car, some guy with a walkie-talkie came out and told her she had to leave.
Oh,
Isn't that wild?
what's going on at Camp Hero?
It's Junior. Junior's there.
I want to go meet Junior
I
now.
want to go meet Junior.
Let's go have lunch with him today.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll
All
go.
right.
We'll go get something nice.
Yes.
Somewhere in Montauk.
Exactly.
Maybe go down to the lighthouse, have a nice time.
Chicken salad sandwich with Junior the alien.
That sounds
from the
lovely.
fourth dimension. All right. What else you got,
All right.
Jimmy?
Then we have the Fire Island Lighthouse. The original Fire Island Lighthouse was constructed in 1826 and was replaced by the current lighthouse, which was built in 1858.
Okay.
While the lighthouse was being demolished, its caretaker was forced to live in a poorly insulated shack nearby. The winter was harsh, and his daughter died shortly after falling ill.
Okay.
Though a doctor had been summoned, he could not arrive in time to treat her. The caretaker's wife took her body to be buried in Sayville, but he could not attend the funeral as he had to keep the house lit for
the
nearby
lighthouse.
ships.
Exactly.
One night, the light went out, and when locals came to investigate what was going on, the caretaker's body was hanging from a rope.
Oh, no.
Visitors still report seeing the pale visage of the caretaker pacing about the lighthouse, or hear him walking the stairs and opening or closing doors. Some even report the sound of maniacal laughter or see the keeper with rope in hand.
I think the maniacal laughter is the charge that you're charging to get up there to see the light.
Yeah, right? I'd go for the maniacal laughter.
$25 to visit the light? No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea how much it costs. Actually, you know what? If you want to visit the Fire Island Lighthouse, you can use one of our museum passes here at the library.
Absolutely.
See the way we brought it back there?
It always comes back to the library.
And you too can hear the maniacal laughter.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna get it for this weekend.
There you go. Yes.
Then a little bit closer to home, we have the Country House Restaurant in Stony Brook.
Oh, very close.
Built in 1710 by, and I love these old names, Obadiah.
Oh, God.
Obadiah Davis.
I love Obadiah. Such a fine, upstanding man.
He really was. Anyone with a Dia.
With a Dia at the end, yeah.
They're phenomenal people.
Obadiah, Jedediah.
Jebediah. Of course.
Yeah.
So it's a 2.5-story home, and it has been the site of many ghost sightings. Young children to adults have seen the ghost of Annette Williamson. During the American Revolution, while Annette was alone in the house, while her family was away in New Jersey, the British took over the house.
He did.
The townspeople assumed, though, that Annette and her family were loyalists because they did not defend against the British with their lives.
Okay. Yeah.
After the British left, the townspeople murdered her
That's
in the
terrible.
old field room in front of the fireplace.
In front of the fireplace. Just
Man, there were just no rules back then.
Yeah, and you know, there's also common sense that maybe they were like afraid of their life from the British.
Yeah,
obviously.
if they're occupying the home, it's like you're not gonna.
Oh yeah, you're gonna just say, "Oh no, you can't be here." They kill her right there.
It's
right?
insane. What are these people thinking?
I tell you.
And then, so the paranormal activity has been reported in the house, and many employees of the Country House restaurant have seen various things occur.
Okay.
One such occurrence was that the lights went out. Normally, when the lights go out, they all do because they're connected to the same circuit.
Yes.
However, the outside lights did not, and a silhouette of a woman was seen walking by. The lights came on shortly after that, and the person was not seen again.
And all the French fries on my plate were gone.
Annette. It's Annette.
It's Annette.
What is she doing? Annette has also been seen in the storeroom by one of the employees.
Okay.
He went to the storeroom to notify the person that they can't be up there, and then realized that no one was in the room.
Yeah.
Children have also seen Annette and wanted to play with her.
I've heard this. This is creepy.
Yeah. There was a little girl who wanted to go to the men's room, and after being told she was not allowed in there, the little girl said, "But Annette keeps going in and asking me to play."
That's crazy.
Doesn't that give you the chills?
Yeah, because kids, they're, like really little kids, they
Yeah.
don't know, and they just say things, and you're like, they're not they're making that up. I don't think so.
Supposedly kids and animals
yeah.
are susceptible
Yes.
to seeing these things.
Not cats, though, because cats are just crazy.
Yeah. They're
But
a
dogs,
little
yeah,
out there.
They're out there.
So Annette has been known to also raise the music in the room and not allow it to be lowered until an employee had to unplug the system.
Only Maroon 5 songs.
Only Maroon 5. Just Maroon 5.
It's Maroon 5.
She doesn't like Maroon 5. That's funny. All right. You ready for the next one?
I'm ready for the next one. Let's go.
This is a little bit of a longer one, but it's a goodie.
All right.
All right. So Raynham Hall in Oyster Bay.
Oh, nice.
It's a mid-18th century Oyster Bay home. It was owned by the Townsend family and confiscated by the British during the Revolutionary War.
Okay.
When the American Revolution broke out, Oyster Bay was primarily loyalist, except for a few people in the area like Samuel Townsend, who supported the war and rejection of British rule.
Okay.
In August of 1776, the Battle of Long Island saw the Patriots defeated, and a few weeks later, British soldiers arrested Samuel Townsend for being an outspoken patriot. Fortunately for Samuel Townsend, he had friends on both sides. There was a merchant Tory named Thomas Buchanan who paid a considerable sum so that Townsend could be released before being taken onto a prison ship in New York Harbor.
Okay.
Raynham Hall is said to be haunted by Sally Townsend, who received a valentine from the British Lieutenant Colonel Simcoe, occupying her family's home.
Yeah.
Sally took a liking to Simcoe. She baked him donuts, and he wrote her what some historians believe is America's first Valentine.
Really?
Yep. Imagine
the first
that.
Valentine.
The first Valentine. And
roses are red, violets are blue. I'm haunting your house. Boo.
And that is the genius of Sal DiVincenzo, my friends. He can just come up with that.
It's a dad joke. It's a dad joke. It happens.
So let's see. So their romance bloomed in the coming months. And one day, Sally saw a mystery man sneaking into the house and leaving a note in the kitchen cupboard. Not long after, a friend of Simcoe's, Major John Andre, who frequently visited the house, snuck in and read it.
Okay.
What he did not know was that Sally had seen him. What he also did not know was that before he got there, Sally snuck into the kitchen and read the note herself.
Uh-oh.
All right, you ready for this?
Yes.
Later in the day, she told her brother, one of George Washington's most trusted spies, the Culper Spy Ring,
Culper Spy Ring.
What she had seen and read. Sally reported that Simcoe and another British soldier, Major Andre, she reported them to her brother, who was part of the spy ring. The note allegedly revealed that Andre had been plotting with Benedict Arnold to to bring about the surrender of West Point in a development that could have changed the course of the entire Revolutionary War.
That's right.
Andre was then captured and executed for conspiracy. But in Raynham Hall in Oyster Bay, it can lay claim to that visitors report seeing a young woman and a British soldier within its walls.
Oh, boy.
To this day, visitors say her second-floor bedroom is the coldest spot in the house.
I'm sure.
One person said, "It makes you feel anxious, as if it's a weight on your chest."
Yeah.
Noises have been known to come from the room late at night, including screams of, "No!" Visitors have also felt a coldness in the colonial room, the room downstairs where Sally hid as she watched the men in the kitchen that day. And a gardener has reported seeing a vision of Sally in a black dress walking the grounds.
Oh, boy.
Other visions have been known to haunt the property as well, especially a hairy 20-something man in a dark coat with brass buttons on it.
Hairy man.
A very hairy man. Sometimes he rides a white horse.
Okay.
Visitors report doors swinging open, papers rattling, the sound of footsteps. Many say it's Major Andre, who was executed for what happened at that house.
Okay.
In recent years, one psychic walked into the bedroom Andre used and said, "Somebody's dead in here."
Oh, my goodness. That's a terrible thing to say.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Wild stuff. All right, now let's go.
That took me back to one of the dates I went on when I was a kid.
To Raynham Hall?
No, just someone's dead in here.
Oh, God.
All right.
Oh, dear.
Moving on.
Yeah. All right, so Old Bethpage Village restoration.
Yes.
Here it will give you a glimpse into the past with historic buildings and recreations of early 19th century life. But if you're lucky, you may even get a look at an actual resident of pre-Civil War Long Island.
Really?
Yep. The buildings that I guess are there come from all over Long Island, and many have brought their ghosts with them.
Oh, nice.
One of the more famous haunted sites in the village is the Conkling House.
Okay.
A fisherman's cottage originally from the village of the Branch.
Okay.
A woman in period dress not an actor working for the restoration,
Not an actor.
not an actor, has been reported on the upper floor, and one employee says he saw a shadow running towards him only to vanish when he peered up for a closer look.
That's creepy.
There have also been unexplained loud banging sounds. Then we go to the Hewlett house, which has seen a multitude of ghostly activity.
Also on the property.
Also on the property,
Okay.
yep. Including an incident in which a worker felt a hand on her shoulder, but found no one to be there when she turned around.
That's terrible.
Isn't that creepy?
That's terrible.
That's creepy.
The touching, okay, if you see something, it's one thing. But the touching, that's not.
You're just trying to get a rise out of someone at that point. Like, that's not a nice ghost.
You're not a friendly ghost.
You're not Casper.
You're not Casper.
2 other women reportedly held a seance and contacted the ghost of Lewis Hewitt, who said he was hanged from the stairwell. And a security guard once reported hearing strange voices coming from the basement. Other haunted sites at the restoration include the Noon Inn, the Kirby House, and the Williams House.
Oh, it's all haunted.
All haunted. The Williams House in particular seems to be a hotbed for ghostly activity, with reports from workers of the sudden slamming of doors and windows, including those that have been already propped open.
Okay.
And the movement of objects when their backs are turned. Another worker heard a small ghostly voice tell her to put my teacup down.
Oh, boy.
After she picked up a toy teacup while cleaning the home.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that creepy?
I tell you. Entire place. Haunted.
Yeah.
Everything done.
Exactly.
That's it.
I mean, I want to go there now. It sounds awesome.
Very cool.
All right, now we move on to Smithtown and Katie's.
A little closer to home.
A little bit closer to home. Katie's of Smithtown.
This is also a restaurant.
Yes.
Okay.
Sitting on the location of the former Trainer Hotel, which burned down in 1909. Katie's is a popular bar that has been featured on Paranormal State and Ghost Adventures. Psychic mediums often did readings in the downstairs area and often spoke of a presence of a man named Charlie. Charlie was a bartender who committed suicide because he was afraid of going to jail because he sold a man in the federal government a drink during Prohibition.
There's a lot of hangings and suicides in these stories, isn't there? Okay.
A lot of anguish.
Yeah.
Angst. Yeah.
Well, they typically say that, if you are being haunted, if that's what you believe, and we're not going to judge anybody either way.
Yep.
But that's what it is. It's like this angst.
The soul can't move on.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are also many types of phenomena that have occurred at Katie's, this is crazy, including glasses flying to people, to which people yell, "Charlie!" and ghost apparitions, voices heard, motion detectors being set off in an old stairwell when no one was there.
Yeah, sure.
Creepy stuff.
That's creepy stuff. Now, when you said glasses flying, like sliding on the bar, that would be pretty cool, though.
To me,
like if you sit down and then Charlie sends you like a beer, it's like, oh, all right.
He's like, Charlie. Here, you want a shot of whiskey?
Yeah,
there you go. All right, so now we move on to the St. James General Store.
Okay.
Built and started in 1857 by Ebenezer Smith.
Ebenezer, there's another great name.
Every time I hear Ebenezer, I just want to say Scrooge.
Yeah,
I just want to say Scrooge. Yeah. It's been a mainstay in St. James. Is now owned by the Suffolk County Parks Department since 1990. It was the first place in town with a post office and also housed the first telephone in town as well.
Wow.
The structure itself has not changed since 1894, which is wild when you think about it.
Very wild.
In an interview featured in the book Historic Haunts of Long Island by Carrie Ann Flanagan Broski, the store manager at the time stated that people often felt unmistakable cold spots. Apparitions of a little girl in old-fashioned clothing have been seen, and also people have heard the sound of a child crying. And there have also been footsteps from the floor above that have been heard by staff.
It's interesting. And again, here's another thing. It's always the period, like quote unquote period clothes, quote unquote old fashioned clothes. It's rarely nowadays do you hear, and maybe I'm mistaken, but these places at least, you don't hear it like it's just someone like wearing like a tie dye shirt and
it's always old clothing.
Old clothing.
Yeah. So that to me that kind of means something. I think
something. Yeah.
And then I actually have just one more. We have the Gateway Playhouse in Bellport, which, by the way, I want to go to now because I heard that they do a haunted house over there.
Oh, nice.
And it's very creepy and cool, and they have like food outside before you go in.
They
and,
also have very nice shows there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been there. Well, I've been to one show, and it was very good over
very
there.
Good. Yes, yes.
So apparently, I did not know this, constructed in 1827.
Wow.
It's the oldest active theater on Long Island.
Neat.
And during the summer, it puts on a variety of productions. And in recent years, it has been converted into a haunted house for the first half of autumn.
Very good.
Actors in costumes are not the only ghosts lurking about this old building, though.
Sure there aren't.
Patrons and employees have heard creepy, unexplainable sounds, seen ghostly figures and smoky forms, and witnessed objects seem to move of their own accord.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
Again, very creepy. Any objects moving on their own?
Yeah.
Creepy.
I love it, though. A murder actually took place at the gateway, and some say the moans are the victim are still audible.
Terrible.
A man wearing a top hat has allegedly appeared in the sound booth and vanished just as quickly.
There you go. Top hat. Who's wearing top hats nowadays?
You're wearing old clothes.
Old clothes.
If you were somewhere in the 19th century, you're a ghost now.
You're a ghost.
You haven't moved on. Also, there have been reports of flickering lights, random tapping or knocking sounds, disembodied voices, and other paranormal phenomena.
Crazy.
And that is Haunted Long Island.
That is Haunted Long Island. Spooky Haunted
Yes.
Long Island. Wow. Jimmy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For bringing that. Of course, you had to bring a little bit of the history in.
Oh, of course.
Of course, the Civil War was mentioned once or twice because Jimmy is here.
Got to give the background info.
Got to give the background info. But yeah, it's very interesting stuff. And these are all places that people can visit.
Yep, absolutely.
So if you are into that spooky thing, the spooky, you want to feel spooked out, and you like the haunted concept there, you can go visit these places.
Absolutely.
And like I said, for Fire Island, you can actually get a pass.
Boom. Get the pass.
Get the pass.
Do we have the village restoration? Is that a thing?
I don't know. It might be. Yeah, it might be on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But we have, I'm sure.
Give us a call.
Give us a call. 631-585-9393. Ask about our museum passes.
Or go online, mcplibrary.org.
That's right. And if you're a patron, obviously you're eligible to get those. And I'm sure there's one or two haunted places on that list that you can go visit.
Yep.
All right, Jim. Well, thank you for kicking off Spooktober.
Absolutely.
We greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And if you want to listen to older episodes or read our show notes, you know where to find it. mcplibrary.org. No, that's not right. No. It's mcplpodcast.com. I was going to do the 6-year-old.
I threw you off. I'm sorry.
I was going to do the 6-year-old site. You can also go to mcplibrary.org/podcasts.
And there you go. You can access it there too.
There's many places to get there. And also, just a reminder, if that you are watching on YouTube and you just liked what you saw, hit the like button.
Yep.
Because that would be cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Very good. So we will see you for next week's Spooktober. I wonder what it's going to be. Ooh. We have some great stuff coming up. Some really fun things happening, especially our last Spooktober episode is on Halloween.
Ooh,
so
I love it.
So you're going to have to tune in for that.
Fantastic.
So yeah, definitely stay tuned. For Jim Ward, I'm Sal DiVincenzo. See you on the next show.